Tulsi Gabbard will resign from her position as the US Director of National Intelligence in the Trump administration, citing her husband's recent bone cancer diagnosis. "His strength and love have sustained me through every challenge," she wrote in her resignation letter obtained by CBS News, the BBC's US partner. "I cannot in good conscience ask him to face this fight alone while I continue in this demanding and time-consuming position."
Russian President Vladimir Putin has promised retaliation after accusing Ukraine of carrying out a deadly attack on a student dormitory in an occupied part of eastern Ukraine. He said 6 people were killed and 39 injured after the overnight drone strike in the town of Starobilsk, Luhansk region. Another 15 people were missing.
Due to an Ebola outbreak in their country, members of the Democratic Republic of Congo's national football team must isolate before entering the US for the World Cup. Andrew Giuliani, executive director of the White House Task Force for the World Cup, confirmed on Friday that the Congolese delegation must maintain a bubble where they currently are training in Belgium and isolate for 21 days or risk being denied entry. The Trump administration has said foreign nationals who enter the US on temporary visas should return to their home countries if they want to apply for permanent residency, arguing that the move is aimed at reinforcing the existing legal immigration system. Officials said the policy is intended to ensure green card applications follow standard immigration procedures rather than allowing people to remain in the US while seeking permanent status through what the administration describes as loopholes in the system.
Whenever a low, bumblebee-like thrum cuts through the quiet of Sandra Montoya's home near Tibu, in Colombia's Catatumbo region, the sound stiffens her body. She instinctively reaches for her young son. The noise always emerges from a small mountain behind her home, part of a tree-quilted landscape stitched with winding rivers along Colombia's border with Venezuela.
Pep Guardiola is more than a football manager, using his high-profile platform to highlight causes close to his heart. Legendary Liverpool manager Bill Shankly may have believed football was much more important than life or death. But for Guardiola, several things outside the beautiful game matter almost as much.
PTI's Islamabad wing held a protest in the federal capital on Friday, despite Section 144 being in place, which restricts public gatherings. It is worth mentioning that Tehreek Tahfuz Ayin-i Pakistan, TTAP, and PTI had given a call to hold countrywide protests against former Prime Minister Imran Khan's imprisonment, rising inflation and other issues on Friday.
Lahore. Actor and model Momina Iqbal on Friday filed an application with Chung police for the registration of a first information report against the PML's PA Saqib Chadar, levelling serious allegations of blackmail, harassment and death threats. In her application, she alleged that the PMLN MPA had been making threatening calls to harass her and her fiancé.
The government reduced the price of petrol by Rs6 per litre and that of high-speed diesel by 668 on Friday. Following the decrease, the price of petrol stands at 403.78 per litre and HSDs at 402.78.
Organisers of a Gaza-bound aid flotilla say freed foreign activists who were abducted from international waters faced abuse while in Israeli detention, including at least 15 reporting incidents of sexual assault or rape. The global Sumud flotilla organisers added in a statement on Telegram on Friday that several activists were hospitalised with injuries, a day after hundreds were deported from Israel. Tulsi Gabbard is resigning from her job as United States President Donald Trump's Director of National Intelligence, according to her resignation letter posted on her X account. In her resignation letter, Gabbard told Trump she was deeply grateful for the trust you placed in me and for the opportunity to lead the office of the Director of National Intelligence for the last year and a half.
Israel approved the establishment of a special military tribunal to try Palestinians accused of participating in the October 7, 2023, Hamas-led attack on Israel earlier this month, and will give the body the power to impose the death penalty. But analysts, campaigners, and international organizations, including the United Nations, have all questioned whether there will be any real justice delivered by the tribunal, and instead consider it a way of seeking revenge on imprisoned Palestinians. Oppo has shared more details about the upcoming Reno 16 series ahead of its launch in China. The Reno 16 and Reno 16 Pro are already available for pre-order in the country. Oppo has also previously shown the design of both phones. Samsung Electronics 005930KS has avoided a major strike in its device solutions business after its labour union suspended a planned 18-day walkout following a new round of negotiations. The planned strike would have been the largest in Samsung's history. It was linked to worker dissatisfaction over the company's record sales and concerns that employees were not receiving enough of the profits. Reuters reported that the tentative deal was reached after government-mediated talks.
Samsung is reportedly preparing a fourth model for the Galaxy S27 lineup, and a new leak has now shared details about the expected Camera 7 Pro. Earlier rumours suggested that the Galaxy S27 Pro could be a smaller version of the Galaxy S27 Ultra without an S Pen. However, the latest leak points to one important camera difference between the two models.
Samsung may be exploring a rollable display smartphone, according to a newly discovered patent filing. The patent, spotted by WearView, describes a phone with a rollable screen and a movable rear camera module that shifts along with the expanding display.
The federal government has again reduced the prices of petrol and high-speed diesel by 6 per litre for the next 7 days, according to official confirmation issued by the Petroleum Division. Following the latest revision, the price of petrol has been fixed at 403.78 per litre, while high-speed diesel will now be sold at 403.58 per litre. Dr. Nassim Salahuddin, a renowned infectious diseases expert and professor emeritus at Indus Hospital, passed away on Friday. According to information available on the hospital's website, she was serving as the head of its infectious diseases department.
Tulsi Gabbard said on Friday she is resigning from her job as President Donald Trump's Director of National Intelligence, saying her husband had been diagnosed with a rare form of bone cancer and that she was stepping away from her role to help him. Gabbard advised Trump of her intention to step down during an Oval Office meeting on Friday. Fox News Digital reported earlier. The resignation is effective June 30, it said.
Waymo has now paused its self-driving car service in 5 US cities in response to a software issue which has seen some vehicles enter flooded roads and get stuck. The US firm recently issued a recall of thousands of robotaxis following an incident on the 20th of April in San Antonio, Texas, when an empty Waymo vehicle entered a flooded road and was swept into a creek. 9 Western countries have urged Israel to stop expanding its settlements in the occupied West Bank, in a joint statement that also condemns settler violence and warns construction companies not to bid for tenders. In a joint statement on Friday, the leaders of the United Kingdom, France, Germany, Italy, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Norway and the Netherlands emphasised that such settlements violate international law.
Kevin Warsh has been sworn in as the new chair of the United States Federal Reserve Board of Governors, succeeding Jerome Powell, who has held the position since 2018. Warsh took the oath of office on Friday following a contentious nomination period, with the Senate voting along party lines as on both his confirmation to the Board of Governors and as chairman. Only Pennsylvania Senator John Fetterman broke with his Democratic colleagues to advance his nomination.
We hear how San Diego's Muslim community is grieving, supporting one another, and trying to move forward after an attack that shattered their sense of safety. How does a community begin healing after unimaginable loss? In this episode,
the World Health Organization has urged countries to continue monitoring passengers for hantavirus after a case was detected among a Dutch crew member of the ship at the centre of the outbreak. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, the WHO chief, told a news conference in Geneva on Friday that he urges all countries to monitor the passengers who were on board the MV Hondius cruise ship and move carefully for the remainder of the quarantine period.
Earlier this week, Google rolled out a completely new search experience, foregrounding AI summaries and kicking the traditional 10 blue links far down the page. But the sheer scale of Google search means there are lots of edge cases that the company doesn't seem to have considered. For instance, this is what you'll now get if you type the word disregard into Google search.
Spotify was a music app at one time, then it added podcasts, then audiobooks. Now the company is piling AI features into its app at a pace that can feel overwhelming. The latest wave, announced at its investor day, skews heavily toward using AI to generate content rather than using AI to help users find content they actually want. Until now, Spotify has been largely a platform for human-created content, music, podcasts, and audiobooks. As it adds AI-powered tools to generate all of those formats, the app is poised to look very different. That shift is also creating friction. AI can now produce music faster than Spotify can manage it.
In Apple's seemingly never-ending lawsuit with Fortnite maker Epic Games over App Store commissions, the iPhone maker is once again fighting a court's ruling. Its latest tactic? Saying that Epic Games' beef with Apple over its fee structure shouldn't lead to an injunction that applies to all developers that publish on the US App Store, including other tech giants like Microsoft and Spotify, which weren't a part of this particular litigation. Epic never brought a class action and never attempted to show that enjoining Apple's conduct against all other developers, like Microsoft or Spotify, who have nothing to do with Epic, was somehow necessary to provide relief to Epic, reads Apple's new petition which asks the US Supreme Court to review the lower court ruling. The merchandise website of FBI Director Kash Patel was taken offline on Friday after reports that it had been hijacked by hackers trying to infect visitors with malware, as first reported by Straight Arrow News. As of this writing, the website of Based Apparel is offline. On Thursday, an ex-user who goes by Debbie posted that the brand's website apparently had malware on it, in particular an infostealer, a type of malicious software designed to infect victims and steal their credentials and passwords. A security researcher later analysed the malware.
Huawei has launched the MatePad Pro Max globally. It's now is your Spark event in Bangkok. The company says the tablet is the world's thinnest and lightest 13-inch plus tablet. It measures 4.7 millimeter thick and weighs 499 grams, making it thinner than Apple's 13-inch iPad Pro M5, which measures 5.1 millimeters. Despite its slim body, the tablet carries a 10,400 mAh battery.
With about a month left until Google releases the stable version of Android 17, smartphone brands have started speeding up development for their own devices. Vivo launched its Android 17 beta program in early April and is preparing to release the stable update later this year. The update is expected to arrive with Origin OS 7 on top.